The man charged with gunning down a Biloxi police officer will not stand trial, at least not yet.
Today, a judge ruling that Darian Atkinson is not competent for trial for capital murder. Noah Noble joins us now live in Biloxi with the latest details and what's next.
Well, this is not the outcome that many were hoping for, especially those who knew and loved Biloxi police officer Robert McKeithen. It's been almost 6 years since the veteran officer was gunned down right here outside the police station. And while the man accused of pulling the trigger was originally deemed competent to stand trial, psychologists now say that his mental condition has deteriorated with no signs of improving.
It had been 20 months with essentially no improvement in his competence restoration abilities. And in my opinion, at that point, there was not a substantial probability that he could be restored in the foreseeable future.
Accused murderer Darian Atkinson sat emotionless as clinical forensic psychologist Dr. Robert Stower detailed evaluations he's conducted over the last 2 years. Since March 2023, Atkinson has been at the state mental hospital at Whitfield.
Mr. Atkinson was not particularly cooperative. He refused a good number of those assessments, making things a little difficult. He was started on an antipsychotic medication pretty much right away. There were frequently verbal and even physical assaults with staff.
Dr. Storer testified that Atkinson suffers from a range of psychological problems and he's on the schizophrenic spectrum. Through the 6 evaluations conducted, Atkinson made startling claims to psychologists. He told doctors he was chosen by powerful people for a special program known as The Matrix. And he was convinced that the charges were dropped and he shouldn't be in the hospital. Atkinson was also given multiple tests to determine if he's truly mentally ill. But Dr. Stower testified, if anything, Atkinson is concealing more symptoms.
His mental illness has defeated the judicial pursuit of accountability.
Circuit Court Judge Christopher Schmidt remanded Atkinson to custody of the State Department of Mental Health indefinitely. But District Attorney Crosby Parker says this case is not over yet.
It's been a long time, and obviously we're disappointed with the finding of not being able to be competent or restored, but we're also hopeful that these charges are not dismissed. Should he ever be restored, we will be prepared to try this case.
Biloxi Chief of Police John Miller also wanted Atkinson to answer for this crime. Recent state law changes no longer require them to drop charges from this. Does that give you some solace that there's still?
It really does. It really does. You know, if the man's ill, he's ill. But I would still, if the time comes when, you know, changing medications or whatever it is, that he's deemed competent. It's, you know, it's refreshing. It's reassuring to know that he can stand trial at that time.
I also asked the district attorney if he thinks Atkinson knew what he was doing the night Officer Robert McKeithen was killed.
I think any time that you pre-plan and you walk and you take somebody's life purposely, I think that you knew exactly what you did.
Now, I think Judge Schmidt's closing words really summed up this case. He said it is unfortunate that Atkinson is suffering from such a profound mental illness, but it's even more unfortunate that he will not face a jury to determine his guilt in the homicide of Biloxi police officer Robert McKeithen. Live here in Biloxi, I'm Noah Noble for WLOX News Now.